Between the weather and being ill, I've not been on the allotment for a couple of weeks almost. If I sound a bit croaky, it's because I'm still recovering from the cold. My neighbour's doing some building, so if you hear banging and sawing, that's what it is. So there's a lot of jobs to be done, because obviously I've lost 2 weeks and I've got to catch up. I left this stuff to come back the next day, and then I got knocked out by the cold, and I didn't come in to finish off the other jobs. So I've got a few things to do here. I've got to sort this area out and put the tray with the salt in for the brassicas. I'll show you that when I've done. And I've got to fix this because it's obviously leaking, as you can see by the water in there. It's got quite a big gap there, so this isn't working. So I've got to fix that. This seems to have held up well. Dodgy repair, but it'll do the job. So the celery seems to be going well now. Got to water these leeks because they look a little bit sickly. Brought some seedlings in to put in the greenhouse now. So it's celery and brassicas, turnips and things. So these can go in the greenhouse now. So long as they're protected from slugs, they're the main enemy now. Right, so that's done. So there's salt, and then there's a gap, and then there's the trays. So there's a big gap around it and lots of salt, and the same on the other side. So there's no way that a slug or snail is going to come down and get into these three trays. So I'll put some of the plants in here. That's done. So I defy any slugs to get in there. Probably famous last words, one will find its way in, but I've got some lettuces. I'll bring those in tomorrow and put them into that tray. Right, I'm going to sow some early peas. I should have sown them earlier, but we just didn't get around to it. So I'm going to do them now. I'll put them in these two pots, and they go around the edge, and then this will sit on top and the peas will climb up it right to the top. I'll not put this in now, but just to show you, the peas will go up and climb up here. So I'm going to sow them in a ring around there, and then once they've germinated and grown a little bit, I will put this on. But for the moment, it's more important to put protection against mice on there. So what I'm going to do is sow them and then put some netting on top. Right, I've put little holes where I want the peas to go. So it's a case of putting a couple in each hole. Once the peas are in, just cover them. Give them a good drink. These pots have been outside in the rain, so it is quite moist anyway. And then I will put a piece of grass on top of it for now, and then once they germinated, I'll put the netting on top. Right, I've done the two peas. I've sown some radishes in there, and I put the last of a packet of spring onions in there, so it either comes up or it doesn't. I just wanted to use up the last of the packet. And I put some carrots in buckets, so I'm going to try that, growing carrots in buckets. Other people seem to have had success with it, so I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. So I put two Nance ones, and I put some Amsterdam early carrots in these two that I've got the sticks in. So we'll see how it goes. I've just watered these, so I've left them outside. I'm going to give them a little water, and then I'll put them in the greenhouse and cover them up before I go. Yesterday I forgot to say I repaired this. Put in some nails to put it in, hold it in place, and I put some foam filler on the outside. Just about see the white. Well, it's only a temporary repair because obviously this greenhouse is going to get redone next year, hopefully, barring any disasters. So this only needs to work for another year, and then I'll replace it. And all the peas, radishes and onions are covered up by layers of this polycarbonate, and I will keep an eye on it and take it off when they germinate. But if they do germinate, there will be a little bit of light going through this anyway. there's no weight to this. There's just enough so if a rat tries to push it, there's a little bit of weight on it, but it should be alright. Right, because of the mild winter we've had, this garlic has really grown, and I've been pulling the winter purslane and corn salad to give it more room, but I'm not eating it fast enough. They've done well, and I've been using it as cut and come again. I've cut these and it's come back again, so it's done well. I've got no complaints, but now the garlic's going to take priority, so I'm going to have to pull a few weeds in there. These are weeds. I'm not going to put these in a salad, but there's a lot still left, but I'll just have to pull it. The garlic is looking a little bit peaky, some of it, so I'm going to give it a bit of a feed with liquid fertilizer and give it a bit of fish blood and bone, give it a mulch. And these hoops that I put in, they were fine up to now, but obviously the garlic is now over the top of it, so I need to replace these hoops with something bigger. It's a shame to be pulling them, but they're still in good nick. Obviously the bottom is a bit manky, but it will do. These will do, and I'll see how much I can eat and how much I can give away. But it's not something, you know, if it was lettuces people would take it, but something like this I'm not sure. That's the garlic bed cleared. I've got one bag, and I've got one bag there and another bag there which I'll give to a neighbour. The rest of it I just binned. Well, they'll go in the compost. Most of it is okay, apart from this corner. This corner is getting a little less light and sunlight, and this one, and this one, and this one. The tops look like they've rotted off, but the plant still seems to be alright, so I'm going to leave it and see what happens. But yeah, it doesn't look good. The rest seems to be alright. Don't know what those three, in that spot, those three together, want a bit doolally, I don't know. But everything else seems to be okay. And there should have been one in here, but what's happened to that one. But the next thing to do is to take this off, because obviously this is not tall enough. So I'm going to pull these off and replace them. Just going to prepare the bath now with a little bit of fish blood and bone. Because we have foxes living over there, over the other side of the fence, I am putting in only a small amount, and I will repeat that. Otherwise, if I put in a lot of fish blood and bone, the foxes will come in and try and dig it out to get a tasty meal. So just a little sprinkle now and again. I'm going to give it a couple of scoops of chicken manure pellets as well. Just a few, just a little bit. And I'm just going to water it in, and this is diluted nettle feed, so that's going to give us a bit more nitrogen, which garlic needs. And I'm doing the same with the garlic that's in this bed. I've given it the manure and the fish blood and bone, so I'm just doing this basically to wash in the slow release fertilizer, and this nettle tea will give it a bit of a boost to get it going. So the new hoops and the new longer net. Now this netting is fairly fine, it's that netting, and then you've got the slightly finer netting going through, which may not be showing too well on the camera. So it should be good enough to stop the allium leaf miner, but I will buy some insect mesh. I think that's the safest option.